Just for the safer side, I will also start one more recording. Okay, now all good. So now let's start. Before we start, I'll give you some advice, regarding how to approach trading this year. So to be honest, what you can guys do, that first of all, after this session, right, you guys can easily trade, right? Because this is the important session, and you already know the higher time frame PD array. So from now on, I mean from the next week, you guys can start trading, right? And what you can do, journal. Start journaling first. Whatever the trades you take, you should start journaling. Make like what you can do, in Discord or in Telegram. Okay, before you take a trade, right? You just post the before of the trade, right? And then whatever happens, either you lose or you win, again you post the outcome of that trade, so that you will be accountable of what you are doing. I know you guys will cheat when you do it alone, right? And that's the way to journal. If you want to journal, you can use the server to journal, and also try to journal everything, not all the trades you take, either in Notion or wherever you feel comfortable, right? So this is how we should do. And next, one more important thing: always focus on the one strategy. I'll give you 2 to 3 strategies which I personally trade. Pick any one of it. If you want to trade all the three, first master one of it, then you move to the next one. Right? Do not try to complicate. And I would also suggest stick to few pairs. Do not add so many pairs in your watch list. I would say stick to few pairs. 3 to 4 pairs is enough, right? And pick your time and trade wisely, right? And let's make this year a profitable year, right? Be honest. First of all, try to be honest with yourself. I know that for few days you guys will work, you guys will be doing all the right thing, but after that your motivation will automatically goes down. No, but you have to figure out that how you gonna keep your motivation high, even if you lose, even if you win, right? And I'm wishing all the best to you guys, right? And whatever you doubt you have, do not put the doubt in your mind. Just ask me or ask anyone if you are comfortable with whom, right? Do not keep a doubt with yourself, else whatever money you have paid me will become worthless, right? So yeah, that's all I have to say. Now let's move to the uh today's session. Just confirm me whether my screen is visible or not. Okay, I just shared my screen. Is it visible?
Visible,
It's
bro.
visible.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so today's session is very extremely important. Why I'm saying that? I know many people struggle on this part, right? Uh Let me zoom it out. Okay. Now today's we are gonna discuss about higher time frame bias and narrative, whatever you're gonna say, right? So now let's start. So look, we are gonna be using these all methods, and there are few methods which is also there at the end of the session, but these all are the four to five most important method which I use personally to identify a bias. Okay, okay, there's a disclaimer right here, right. Bias, okay, bias doesn't mean that, do not confuse with this, right? Someday what will happen, you will have bias, right? But bias doesn't mean that you have to engage in that trade, right? You have to participate in that trade. What will happen, you will be right with your bias, but market will not give you the ideal entry. Let's you mark a key level, and your bias is that price is going to move higher, but price did not come to your key level. So it's okay. This is also going to happen. So do not ask me stupid question in my inbox or message box that my bias was right, but I did not got the entry. So this is going to happen. This is the part of the trading, right? The price doesn't move according to you, right? So whenever it gives you the entry, you take, right? This is the first disclaimer. The next important point which I am trying to say here, that bias doesn't mean that everyday bias. You cannot have the bias every single day, right? Someday you will have bias, someday you will not have bias, right? So accordingly, you have to plan the trade, right? Um, so if you have a daily bias, right? So you will trade the,
Ma,
sorry, hello, can you mute yourself, bro? You
baru
just scared me out. Hello, please mute yourself. Hmm. Okay, so daily bias means what? You have the bias for the whole day, right? And someday what will happen that you will be wrong with your bias. So do not push it harder. Do not take multiple losses trying to force that bias. Do not have to force it, right? And one most important thing is that someday you will have the bias, someday you will not have the bias, right? When you will have the bias, you take the trade according to the bias. When you don't have the bias, what will you do? You pick another strategy, right? And try to trade according to that strategy. Or you will have the 4 hour bias, right? Or you will have the 1 hour bias. So if you're a scalper, go with the 1 hour bias. If you're a short term trader, go with the 4 hour bias, right? This is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, that's all. That this is the disclaimer. Why I'm saying that, because you will have this kind of questions will come in your mind, right? So that's why I'm clearing right now before I'm going deep into the session, right? Mm. Okay, so let's start. So let's start one by one. Okay, we'll go with the many examples. First of all, first method we are gonna use is the pin bar, right? And if you ask me what is the best method out of these five, I would say this is the best method, the outside bar method, right? And I assure you that there is 80% accuracy of that this method, the outside bar one, right? And if you collect statistics, if you collect data according to the way you trade, so you might get higher percentage, right? So it's up to you how much hard work you're going to put in. Okay, now let's come back to the first method, the pin bar. Okay, most of you guys already know the conventional method of trading, that is the pattern trading, the support and resistance, the indicators, the different types of candlesticks, right? So I do not mock, do not try to ridicule those kind of strategy, because whatever strategy right now we are using, everything is derived from those things, right? So so one of the important candlesticks is the pin bar, right? And we are going to use that pin bar in our favor to identify bias. Let's see how, right? Let me clear this drawing and let's move to the next slide. Okay, so let me show you which pin bar I am talking about, right? Whenever I say pin bar, it means what? If I talk about the bearish pin bar, then it means there will be a longer wick to the upside, there will be shorter wick to the downside, and there will be small body. This is a bearish pin bar, right? Keep this thing in your mind, because we're gonna have no so many backtesting sessions right now today only, right? So keep this thing in your mind, or else you can take this screenshot right now. um, mm, Okay, now how the bullish one. Okay, so in case of bullish, there will be a longer wick to the downside, shorter one to the upside, and there will be a small body. That's a bullish pin bar. Okay, now you guys know what is a pin bar, how does it looks like in case of bearish and in case of bullish. But there you must be wondering that which where we have to see this pin bar, like, because there will be lots of pin bar in your on the chart. How to pick the best one, how to pick the right one, that is the most important question that might be moving in your mind. Okay, now let's move to this next slide. It will clear all your doubts. Okay, so we have to look for this pin bar at highs or lows or inside a fair value gap, right? This is the two important point to keep in mind. So whenever you see a low, okay, and price taking out the liquidity of that low, and you saw a pin bar right here, that means you can see some retracement either to this fair value gap, right? Or let's say there is a fair value gap there is a fair value gap. So what will happen? Price will go retrace back to that fair value gap. A pin bar will be created inside the fair value gap. So we can predict that the next candle is going to be a bearish candle, right? This is how you're gonna use. Let me show some examples so that it will clear all the remaining doubts you are having, right? Uh, Let's move. See, in this example, you can see that there is a fair value gap, right? And what we can see, so look, there is also one more candle here. There is one more candle here, right? But if you see this is not a bearish pin bar, right? This looks like a bullish pin bar because there's a longer wick to the downside, smaller one to the upside, but this smaller body. It's a bullish pin bar. This is a bearish pin bar. Wow, how does it look? Do not get confused with the candle colors. Doesn't depend. Candle colors is not that important for us, right? So look, this is bearish pin bar. Why? Because if you see, there's a longer wave to the upside, smaller to the downside, and smaller body. So it means what? It means that we can predict that whenever you see this forming, you can predict that the next candle is going to be a bearish candle, just like that. What from this, what you understood, that there is a fair value gap. Inside the fair value gap, we are looking for a bearish pin bar in case of bearish fair value gap, bullish pin bar in case of bullish fair value gap, and we can anticipate that the next candle is going to be bearish. And the what which is the most important drawn liquidity in this case? The first and the low hanging target will be the low of the pin bar, right? So this can be your trade from here to here, right? And if you want to hold it longer, then we can hold it till this low or until this low of that candle which created the fair value gap, right? So yeah, that is the most important. Now let's move to the next slide. See, the first, I guess the second part is clear right now, that inside a fair value gap. Now let's move to the uh, next part, that is this one, at highs and lows, right? So if you can clearly see here, there is a high, price takes out the liquidity of that high. What do you see? What do you see? There is a bearish pin bar created. How can you identify bearish pin bar? There will be a longer wick to the upside, smaller to the downside, and there will be a small body. So you can anticipate that next candle is going to be a bearish candle. Anticipate the next candle is going to be a bearish one, right? So basically, we are trying to look pin bar inside a fair value gap or at highs or at lows. Okay, let me remove the drawings and now we'll move to the next slide. Right, see. Okay, now this is very extremely important thing to understand. And this thing, for this knowledge, right, credit goes to Trader Dante, because this is his strategy, his method to identify bias, right? And right now I'm sharing with you, right? So the credit goes to Dante, right? Okay, what is happening right now? Now, what is outside bar? It is pretty simple pattern. You can say it's a pattern. Okay, that what you can see, price taking out the previous candle liquidity like this and closing below the low of that candle, which takes out the whose liquidity has been taken out. Right? This looks like a bearish outside bar, and if you see this like this, that this candle takes out the previous candle liquidity and closes above the high of the candle, which liquidity has been taken out. That is, no, this is a bullish outside bar. So if you see this thing happening, then the next candle being bullish or being bearish is extremely high probability, right? Hope you got this. I will explain these things in examples right now. Just have some patience and we'll get to we will try to see some more see some examples. Okay, So now let's move to the third method. I will explain this on the charts. That's why I have not shown any examples. Now let's come to the doji. Doji again same thing. The same thing as a pin bar, right? As a pin bar. What here? What you want to see is that what is doji first? Doji is a candle which have a smaller body, longer way to the upside, longer way to the downside. Just similar to pin bar, but quite different, right? Where do you look for this doji candle? We look for this doji candle at highs and lows and inside a fair value gap. It's pretty simple. I'll show some examples. Okay, let me complete all the third method we're gonna use. We're gonna using the CRT. Everybody knows this, right? CRT, three candle pattern. Okay, or this is also, there's also one other name is that inside candle failure. Okay, because this CRT concept is not a Romeo concept. This is also copied from somewhere else, right? So that the actual name is inside candle failure, right? Or you can say three candle pattern. Okay, so price takes out the previous candle liquidity, closes inside this range, so price will take out this candle high. So we are also gonna be using CRT to have a bias or drawn liquidity. Again, same thing. This is a bullish CRT and this is a bearish CRT. Okay. Now let's move to the next slide. Okay, this is also important. But this method will be okay. Let me discuss this. I will go back to the examples. Um, Let me remove all the drawings first. Okay. Now, now what you can see here is that what I actually mean, do not try to trade this as a pattern. Close above higher prices, close below lower prices, wick above higher prices, wick below lower prices. What I actually mean that if price closes above the previous candle high, then we can expect higher prices. If price closes below the previous candle low, then we expect lower prices. If it wicked above higher prices, wicked below lower prices. Do not try to trade this according pattern because the important thing is here. So it means what? You have an opportunity to buy or sell below or above opening price. Okay. I'll explain the last two slides in just after explaining all the examples. Okay. Just keep in mind this thing that close above means what?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, bro.
Bro, like the wick above is like lower prices only, right? Wick above in the sense
Sorry. Yes. Yeah, there's a wrong,
like
there's a mistake, there's a mistake. Sorry. Yes. Wick above is lower prices and wick below is higher prices. Perfect. Hmm. There's a mistake from, look, do not try to trade this according to the pattern right now, right? I will explain the right process, on the charts. Okay. Now let's come back to the charts. Hmm. Okay. This is important. This is very, very interesting. Okay. Let's start with the pin bar thing first. Okay. Or start with the outside bar. Okay. Let's start with the outside bar. This is very, very important. Okay. Can you guys identify? Okay. Let me explain the trade which I took according to the outside bar concept, the BTC trade, right? So you'll get to how to trade, right? Now let's put together everything, everything which we have learned so far. This is gonna be interesting. Perfect, right? I'm not gonna show what man. I'm gonna select bar. Yes. See, you guys can see, right? That price takes out the previous candle liquidity, right? And it closes below the low of that candle, right? Pretty similar to the concept of the outside bar right here. This one. Perfect. Now let's come back. So what I can anticipate, the bias is bearish. Perfect. Uh, this is the way I took the trade. Mm, like this. See. Perfect.
Another,
Mm.
if this outside bar, as we try to know where is the price is price in discount or is in premium, so we can
No,
short.
discount premium thing is not that important when you have the daily. First of all, this is daily, right? In daily candle, we not look for the discount and premium. You can look for, but if you try to trade only on the basis of discount and premium, then you're gonna miss some of the most good opportunity, right? On the most the high probability trades, you're gonna miss, right? So now I'll show you how to use that thing, right? The premium and discount. Let's go to lower time frame, right? Lower time frame, what I can see? I can see a fair value gap here. Price can come to this fair value gap, right? And to be honest, there's one more important thing to explain here, that whenever you see such candles outside bar, you can try to find PDRS around around 50%, right? Or around 75%, or around 0.25%. Well, let me turn it on. I'll let it be 0.25 and 0.75. So you look for PDRS around these levels, right? The high probability ones, not the low probability ones. If you find this PDRS, they can easily target these lows. Okay, now let's come back. Let me remove the drawings, and this is how I'm gonna have the bias. Uh, and this is how I took the trade, right? So go to 12 hour, and 12 hour, what I can see, there is a order block and there is a fair value gap as well. So perfect. This is a fair value gap, uh, and see, price almost reached at the order block and we moved low like this, right? And if you try to, if you wait for price to reach till this fair value gap, then you're gonna miss the trade, right? But that's why the important thing is, let's check whether there is a higher time frame fair value gap is there or not. If it is there, then go try to trade with the higher time frame fair value gap. And the thing which you're talking about is the what do I wanna say about the premium and discount. So you can see this, whether price is there in premium and discount, almost almost at the discount. So here you can use this, right? And we also have this lows. Okay, so this becomes my high probability fair value gap. As well as this is also my high probability fair value. Both can be high probability fair value gap. Okay, so you can combine this to take your entry. Okay, I will not discussing about the entry, but discussing about the bias. Okay, now let's come back to the next examples. Okay, see, this can be a doji candle, like this can be a doji candle. Longer up to the upside, so smaller wick, and there is smaller body, right? This kind of candle can be considered as a doji candle, and see the expansion to the downside. Where it is happening, it is like it is happening at the highs, right? So whenever you see this, it is happening at the highs. So that is also the way to find bias. Okay, and this is also a CRT. So there we go. Doji candle at the highs, CRT at the highs, right? And we have the something to target. If there is nothing to target, then there is no trade. So we have a fair value gap to target. Now the bias for the next day is bearish, like this. Okay. Again, let me show some examples of the outside bar, because that is important. Let's go to different pair, because this is extremely bullish.
So I have a doubt.
Go ahead.
So there was a fair value gap when you marked the red one, right? Then why did the price did not expand after touching the fair value gap?
Why it doesn't need to? Mm, mm.
There is a fair value gap. Like there is a bullish fair value gap right now.
Right,
But why did the
yes.
price come below?
No,
Yeah.
like why it has to respect? Just answer me why it has to respect. Because that's not the concern, that whether it's respecting or not. The concern is the bias. Whether you have the bias. The bias for the next day is, as of now, we are here. And the bias for the next day is bearish. We got the bearish bias. We are done. Why should you care whether it is respecting or not? I like to say, I do not get, like, this is a stupid question, to be honest. It doesn't need to respect. Whether if you're bullish, so you might get wrong and you are out, right?
Okay.
So doesn't need to respect all the PDRs. Why it should, right? Price doesn't move according to your PDRs, to be honest. That's why I gave you the disclaimer before the session. Why it should respect? If you mark all the PDRAs will disrespect price. Every price will disrespect. Whatever PDRA you see on the price, sometime price will respect, sometime it will disrespect. You have to predict when it is going to respect. You have to predict when it's going to disrespect. Okay, this time we're predicting it's going to disrespect. Why I gave you the reason. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to the next. Hmm. See outside bar. Where you can find the outside bar? Go and find out. See the doji candle, right? Here, beautiful bias. This doji candle, smaller body, like up, long wick to the upside, downside, and there is a fair value gap. Right? So what is the bias for the next day? The bias for the next day is bearish. Now again, what did you saw? Price closed extremely bullish. So the bias for the next day is also bullish. Sorry, bearish. Price closed bearish. What are the bias for the next day? Bearish. But do we have something to target? I cannot see anything to target because this fair value gap is already filled. So then makes sense to take trade right now, right? Look, this is also looks like a doji candle, right? It also looks like a uh, pin bar, right? But where it is forming neither at lows nor inside a fair value gap. So we cannot have the bias, right? See, nothing has happened. Okay. Let's see outside bar. Outside bar is important. If you can, if you guys can find out, then do let me know. Okay. Yes, this is
Yes,
also
this one, yes, yes.
this is also outside bar. What you can see, price takes out the previous candle liquidity. So my bias is bullish. Okay, my bias is bullish. Where you can take trades. This can be also be in order block. This can also be in order block. Both can be in order block. So you can pick both of it. Okay, the body, and you can wait for price to move higher, like this, like this. Okay, the bias was bullish. Uh, Again you see same pretty good. Now you see, okay, lot of things, a lot of biases. See now you can see, guys. Okay, what you can see, it looks like a pin bar, right? Bearish pin bar. What I can bias for the day is, and it is forming at the highs, bias for the day. Next day, what is the bias? Bullish or bearish? Tell me, guys, bullish or bearish? What's the
Bearish,
bias?
bearish.
Bearish, perfect. Bias is bearish. See, price open, it came all the down to this order block. So you already done with your trades. Perfect. Now again see what happened. There is it looks like a doji candle, small body, almost no body, and longer wick to the downside and smaller wick to the upside. And you can also say that it's a pin bar. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
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 See, the bias is bullish. Until again the bias is bullish. Until this high is taken out. See what has happened. What you can see? Pin bar, right? Where?
It's good.
At highs?
Bearish.
At highs, pin bar. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish. See, you guys can easily predict, right? Now I'm not saying anything else. You guys, you just told by yourself. Okay. I just need to practice this, right? Again, let's do this. Again, this is also it's very simple. Like someday, look here also. Mm, let's start from here. Okay. Look, nothing. This candle is nothing. It's like there's nothing. So there is nothing. There will be no bias for the next day. There's a fair value gap. Mark this. Now you say, what is the bias for the next day? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish. Perfect. You got it? Right. What now? Can you predict what will be the bias? Can you
Bullish.
predict? Okay.
Bearish.
Got it right. Got it right. How can it predict? It can be you can use CRT to predict. Right. There is also a order block. Okay. Now you can predict whether it is going to bullish or bearish. Can you predict right now? Yes?
No.
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 Perfect. Why? Because there is an order block right here, and price is tapping that order block, and there is also no bar. There is no outside bar. There is no pin bar, and there is nothing else, right? That's why this line is important. That's why do not try to trade this, right? Always. If you try to trade like a pattern, you will get wrecked. Okay. So here there will be no bias. Okay. If price comes to this order block, I will look for trade, but I do not have the bias.
We have to choose this.
I have the key level here. Mark it out. This is a spike candle, right? But it doesn't mean price is gonna come the next day. But I don't have the bias. I will go in the market with the neutral bias, right? I'll go in the market with the neutral bias.
We have to use the outside bar and pin bar on daily time frame, or we can
Perfect.
use
Only on the daily time frame, because you're talking about the daily bias.
Okay.
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 You can use it in weekly time frame also, but weekly time frame I do not suggest. Uh, but I would say try to use only in daily time frame, and if you want to take short-term trades, to use it in 4-hour time frame. Do not go below 4-hour time frame. Perfect. Now you do not have the bias for this day. Now let's see next day. Can you have the right now you have the bias, right? You have the bias because what has happened? Price takes the liquidity here. It closed below the opening price, right? Now to for bias to confirm, the outside bar to confirm, it need to close below the low of this candle. But in this example, I will consider it a high probability outside bar. Why? Because price is coming from a higher time frame PDR, that is an order block, right? This is also the second type of outside bar, which I have not mentioned because this is not that high probability as compared to this first one. But this is also one of the kind of outside bar where it did not close below the low of the candle, but it closed below the opening price. So for the next, the bias for the next day will be bearish, like this. So do you have the bias right now? No, we don't have bias right now. Right now, still we do not have the bias. Okay, right now, do you have the bias? Hello?
No. No.
Don't have the bias? Anyone? Can you
Yes.
guess
Has
what is the bias?
Bearish, bro.
Yes. Bearish.
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 I didn't see the fair value gap.
See, again bearish. Perfect, right? You guys can now trade with the bias. Look, someday you don't have the bias, but whenever you have the bias, you milk the move. You try to, what do you say? Add to your winning position, right? Try to add to your winning position. This is how you're gonna win this game. Okay, only with the daily time frame or 4-hour time frame. We used to have add 4 to 5 pairs, right? Like this, 4 to 5 pairs, and see whether there is a high time frame bias is there or not. If there is no high time frame bias, do not touch that pair. If let's say there is no high time frame bias in any of the pair, so do not trade on that day. Wait for the next day, or there is also one model which I will explain when that doesn't require any bias. Okay. Now, okay, again see this here also you can predict that there's a now let's see, you can predict all day, bro. Okay, here if you try to predict according to CRT, you'll get wrecked. Okay, perfect. This we already done, right?
Brother,
Yes.
but here stop loss are a little bit huge.
Oh, seriously, bro, this is also one of the stupid question. We were not talking about the stop loss.
Okay. Okay.
We are talking about the bias. We're not
Okay.
talking about the stop loss. We're not talking about the entry. We're
Okay.
not talking about anything else. Why the stop loss will be huge? Tell me. Are like I don't you guys do not get my point. The most important point is, are you profitable or not? Are you making money or not? Nobody is gonna ask you whether your stop loss is high or low. Whether you are taking a turtle ship entry or you are taking a tractor ship entry or CSD entry. Nobody even care about the entry. Nobody even care about stop loss. Everybody care whether you are making money or not, right? So
Got it.
why we are worrying about the stop loss, right? Do not worry about the stop loss. Do not worry about the entry. Okay, first try to predict the candle. That should be your first agenda. If you can predict the candle, then half of the job is already done, right? You are here to make money. You are not here to impress people. No, look, I got 10R because my stop loss was 2 pips. No, it's very good to see these things on Twitter X. It looks good in on X or on YouTube to show some people on the innocent ones. Okay. Anyway, odd USD. Or let me go to the other pair to see whether we can predict or not. Yes, simple as that. Again, here. Every day, every time you can predict. Everything can be predicted here. Let's start from here. Now it is a pin bar where it is getting created at the highs. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish? Tell me. You guys have to respond, na? What is
Bearish.
it? Bearish.
Bearish.
Perfect. The
Bearish,
bias
bearish.
is bearish. Perfect. Now on this day, I cannot say I don't have bias, so I will leave this day. Again, market is consolidating. I don't know. Okay, what you can see? Bias bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Perfect. Why the bias is bearish? Because we have
An outside bar.
no, it's not an outside bar. Price did not took out the previous candle high liquidity. It's not outside bar.
So it closed the FEG.
Yes, you can also say we have closed below the FBC, and uh, hmm, or we can also say that there's also order block got created here, right? And this is engulfing candle. This candle engulfed this previous candle. Okay. So, and one most important thing is that to keep in mind, if there is no target, right? If there is no target, then what the purpose of the bias, right? So the target we have is the fair value gap. That's why the bias is bearish. If let's say there is no fair value gap here, what will happen? Then we'll stick to the neutral bias, right? Neutral bias. So as there is a fair value gap, so until this fair value gap, my bias will be bearish. Perfect. Right now we don't have bias. Okay. Don't have bias. Still we don't have any bias. We have just now tapped the spike candle. Okay. We moved higher again. Now you guys tell me what's the bias? Here
Bearish.
we have the fair value gap. What is the bias?
Bearish.
Bearish. Perfect. We got the bias. Even you take this trade only, right? This trade. Okay. Let's say you have 100K account and you took 1% risk. You got 2R, right? You already made $2,000. That's all. 2% is done. You're done. Out of 30 days, let's say you got 10 perfect buys, right? Out of 10, you executed 8. And out of 8, you got 6 wrong, 6 right. And you got 2 wrong. And whenever you got right 6 times, you make 2R. So you made 12R, right? And you lost 2R. So how much R you got? 10R. Let's say you are taking 1% risk. So you made 10%. What else you need, man? Doesn't the more trade doesn't means more money, right? You can see there's a bias, but it did not play out. You can say here. Here
Can we use the bearish pin bar on if bearish pin bar closes below the previous day high?
where
If sorry, my question is wrong. If pin bar after sweeping the previous day high, if bearish pin bar is formed, can we go for the bearish bias?
yes.
Okay.
Let's say like this, right? Now high is now bearish pin bar got created. Bias is bearish. Mm-hmm. Again, what is the bias? Bullish or
Bearish.
bearish? What rest of us are doing? Only one of the guys. Yes, got it right. Like I did not. This was the chart you guys are not aware of, right? But see, you got it right here. You got right here. And you also got it right here. That's the magic. And you also got it right here as well. After 10 days, you got right 4 to 5 days. What else you need? Okay. Let me, yeah, this is also a good example. What is this candle type? Can you guys say? Which candle is this?
Doji.
Doji.
Doji. Perfect. What is the bias for the next day?
Bearish.
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 You got the bias? Now, do you
Yes.
have the bias? Do you have the bias right now? We don't have the bias.
Neutral.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
perfect. Now you have the bias?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
What is the,
bullish.
what is the bias?
Bullish.
Bullish.
Perfect. Right.
Can it be
1,
outside?
2, 3, 4. Out of 4 days, you have bias here and you bias here. 2 days you
That
have bias.
that was an outside bar, na?
Yes,
Because
it's outside bar.
because it swept the previous day's low
Yes, and closed above the
above the
opening open. But for extremely high probability, it should close above the high. But as it's a this candle is a strong thick candle, so even it closes above this opening price, it's okay. Okay.
Bro, it like the engulfing was at an FVG, so that also makes it
Yeah,
hyperactivity, right?
perfect. Yes, right. There was engulfing happening inside the fair value gap, so you can say that the bias is bearish. Perfect, bro. Again, see, now guys tell me, this is a good example. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish? Now let's start from here. Let's start from here. No, no. Let's start from here only. Here. Okay. Okay. Do you have the bias like now today?
No.
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 Perfect. Now you have the bias.
Yes.
No.
If yes, then what is bullish or bearish?
Bullish, bro.
Bullish.
Bullish. Right. Now you have the bias.
Yes. Bullish.
Okay. Anyone bullish or
You
no
are
bias?
No bias, bro.
Okay.
Bullish.
If anybody has bias, then why do you think there is a bias?
it closed above the previous day high.
But I told you, do not trade that according to the
Yes,
pattern.
yes, yes. Okay. Then no
It-
bias, no bias.
Look,
No
if
bias.
it look, you are right. If it is closed above this previous candle high, then bias is bullish until price takes out this candle high, right?
Okay.
But there is very small range, right? From this opening price limit will take out the high, right?
No bias, then no bias.
No bias. Again, you don't have any bias because price is inside the range. Okay. Now you guys tell me what is the bias?
Bearish.
Strong
Bearish.
Bearish. Why? Which is what type of candle is this?
Bearish pin bar, we can say.
No, it's not a pin bar. Guys,
Oh,
Uh, sorry.
it
Outside bar.
it engulfed the
outside bar.
Outside bar.
Outside bar. It
Sorry.
takes out the previous candle high liquidity and
And close
closes
below the
below
low.
this low of the candle. So it's an engulfing outside bar, right? So the next candle is bearish. Perfect. We got the bearish price. Okay. Now, do you have the bias?
No.
No.
now.
No. Perfect. But yes, you can say that I have the bias until price takes out this low. But this is not that important, right? That's why I'm saying. Now, price taps this fair value gap. Do you have the bias?
No.
No. Now, you have the bias?
Yes.
Yes.
No, bro.
Why no, bro? There's an price engulfed while price tapping this
Okay.
fair value
Okay.
gap. So, yes, we have the bias and that the bearish bias. And we can also predict this as well. If there is CRT, there is CRT forming inside the fair value gap. But this is not a CRT. But if you see a different broker, then you must find this that price fails to close, right? And also there is have a candle here, bearish candle, order block. Now you have the bias, bearish bias. Okay, again let's move. Now, now you have the bias.
No.
no.
No. And can you guys tell me whether this fair value gap is a high probability fair value gap or a low probability fair value gap?
High probability fair value gap.
Why it's a high probability fair value gap?
That's the
In
IRL inside,
premium,
bro.
in premium of the range of the dealing range.
Yes, and also one more, that the
It
most
has a
important
IR,
point.
it has a IRL
Because
inside.
Break off structure.
Yes, perfect. It broke the structure, right?
it,
It broke the
the
low.
low was broken in the FEG.
It broke the low and price hit it at the low. So this is also a high probability fair value gap. So you can anticipate the price will react from here. Right? Who does this? Okay. Now you don't have the bias. Okay. So now you have the bias.
Yes, bro.
Yes,
Bullish.
Bullish.
Perfect. Until this fair value gap. Right?
Bearish. Now it is bearish because it is a bearish pin bar inside and fair value gap.
Right? Got it. You're right. Still you are right. Okay. This low is taken out. Now you have the bias.
No, bro.
No.
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 And now still
No.
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 Yes.
Vikas, I have a question here.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
Can I annotate?
Yes, sure.
Okay,
Party is yours.
so this was like kind of like a pin bar after taking out this liquidity, and that's the reason why I said yes, we have a bias, because ideally I would have targeted that high.
Okay. Let me clear your doubts. It's not a pin bar, bro. It looks like a hammer candle, right? Pin bar has to have the. If you see the example of the pin bar, let's see.
Yeah. Okay, I get your point.
See this. In case of bearish pin bar, it should have so bullish pin bar, long wick and small wick to the upside and smaller body. But if you see this example, there's no upper, like there's very small tiny upper wick, right? So I not consider. But if you if you see like this, that there is a range, right, low, and there is a range high, then you can anticipate price to tap this fair value gap, right? But this is not high probability because we are trying to trade against the order flow, right? And the order flow is base, guys can see intermediate term high is getting created, right? Price is rejecting lows, rejecting highs,
Closing
disrespecting,
due to lows.
yes, closing below the lows, disrespecting various fair value gap, creating a bullish fair value gap, right? And also respecting a bullish order block. So this is how you can anticipate the order flow is bearish, right? Now what is the bias? Can anybody tell right
Bearish.
now? Bearish.
Bearish.
Why? What's the reason?
Because it took the previous day highs and it is a bearish.
Close
No,
below this.
no.
Yes. It's outside bar. That's all.
Yes, outside bar. Sorry.
Got it. If you trade the range like this range high is taken out and the range low is target. Perfect.
For outside bar, color doesn't matter.
No, color doesn't matter. Like that. Till this fair value gap.
Bearish.
Okay. Now what's the bias?
Bearish.
Yes.
Bearish.
Perfect. So bias. Now bias. Do you have bias?
No.
No. Perfect. And now market start consolidating. Why? Because price takes out the previous, took out the liquidity and is consolidating.
Now I got your point. We are right on the daily bias. I
Huh?
got your point.
You got my point right.
Why? We should not consider about RR. We should consider about making money.
Right. Why you consider? Why you like? Uh, now you got my point, so I will not try to explain anymore. Okay.
Vikas, one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. 1 second. Let me annotate. Since we take out this liquidity and we close back inside this range, right? Inside this dealing range, then can we anticipate higher prices?
Yes. Only when I see a bullish fair value gap getting created. Okay.
Okay.
Until if you see this, try to trade this range, right? So there will be mark this 50%, right? So at least we can anticipate price to reach here, but I need some bullish PDR to getting created. See how price got rejected, right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say. Until and unless there is no bullish PDRA getting created, we cannot say that things changed. Okay. still we cannot say anything else. See how price is struggling to stay inside that range. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you guys have the bias. You guys have bias till starting from here only. Okay, no, from here only say. Okay, see this is outside bar, right? What is the bias?
Bearish.
Bearish, perfect. You are right this time. Now we don't have bias, and we don't have bias. What is the bias right now?
Bearish.
Bearish.
But
Until this fair value gap.
yes,
Right.
because it is a doji, huh?
Yes, it's a doji. Until still the bias is bearish. Nothing has changed. The price would have been closed. If price let's say this candle closed above this candle high. So now we'll leave that bias, right? So until then, we bias was still bearish. Now, but what you have?
Outside bar.
What is the bias?
Bearish.
Bearish.
Still, again, we are still right. Price is inside that range and see.
Bearish. Okay, got it.
It doesn't need to price to do immediately the next day, right? It can do, might be in 1 to 2 days, right? As this is a huge range candle, right? So it can consolidate and then it can move. Price can move like this. It either it will consolidate and then expand, or it will do a V shape reversal or M shape reversal. Okay. Bias? Anybody have bias?
No.
Still very
Bearish
consolidate.
bias.
That's why this is
Bearish.
how
Now
this
it
is
is now
this is
bearish.
this is how you're gonna stay away from the all the bullshit trade you guys take, right? This is all the nonsense trade you should avoid, right? If you don't have bias. Hmm.
Now bearish.
You are wrong this time. Why you are bearish? Because you saw a pin bar or a
And
doji?
inside a fair value gap.
Yes, no issue. You can be wrong sometime. This is good. This is a good key level, right? Spike candle, displacement to the upside. See how price is acted. See there is a CRT here and we moved higher. Yeah, still have the bias. Okay. Ranging, started ranging. This pair ranged a lot. Again, if you try to trade this, you can trade this. There's a lot of you could have traded. But I do not want to share the hindsight example because that doesn't make sense. I would love to show you uh, a trade which I took. See, this is also a good candle, right? Hmm. Uh, all this is a range, price is ranging inside the candle. Engulfing bar, perfect. See, see this spike, price taking out previous high and this, perfect, right?
It's working most of the times.
It will work most all the time, every time. If it's not working, then you are wrong. Do not blame the market. Okay, now I'll show you the trade which I took. I remember there's a trade in gold which I took few, I guess, in November. Okay, I remember if my mind is right. If I can remember, then that's a trade which I took according to 4-hour bias. So now I will explain if there is no daily bias. Let's say there is no daily bias, then what to do? Okay, so if there is no daily bias, you can switch to 4-hour. Okay, and find out the 4-hour bias. Mhm. It was there. Just give me some time. I will just show you where I took that trade. Not here, not here. It was in the month of uh November, I guess. Just a sec, guys. Mm, okay, I could not remember, guys. That's a good example, man. Mm. Okay, I have to use uh my this to because I have already shared that trade here. So let me search gold. Let's see one by one. On which day? It's 13 December. No, this is not the trade. Because this will clear your doubt regarding the bias according to 4-hour bias. Okay, I could not get moved to the downside. Hope this is visible, right? This one. Uh, not this one. Not this one. This one as well. I guess it's one in October or what? According to see, it was this thread, I guess. I guess this thread. No, not this was not the perfect thread, man. Okay, let's come back to the chart only. Also, how to use in that this in 4-hour time frame if you want to trade. See, if you want to trade this like this, you can trade 4-hour time frame. This is extremely high. This is high, right? There's a high here, and what you can see. What do you have?
Pin bar.
Bearish pin bar.
Bearish pin bar at the highs, right?
Yes.
So
Bearish.
your bias can be bearish. Should be bearish.
Until the FVG, right?
Yes, till
Until
that
FVG.
FVG. Yes, until that FVG. We are not predicting going for a one. And now you don't have bias. Look, we are in the 4-hour time frame. So you can trade this expansion to the downside. Now you don't have anything else. Yes, you can say the bias is bullish. Okay. But now it's consolidating. What do you see? Price engulfed the previous candle. So this should support the price. But look, what happened? Price broke the high. So what I want to see that price.
FVG.
Yes, a high. So a fair value gap should be created here. Okay. Okay, it got created. This is how you anticipate. Okay, this fair value gap created. Now you look for doji or pin bar inside that fair value gap. Like this. It's not look like a doji, but this is a high probability fair value gap which we discussed, right? So you can trade according to that high probability fair value gap. Now no, it looks like the outside bar, but it can trade, but doesn't high. This is a what do you say? The order flow is bullish. Okay. Now, order flow got changed. Okay. Let's see where I can explain one more examples of 4-hour. Look, there's so many candles in 4-hour time frame. That's why very difficult to see. Okay, let's go to daily and practice this as much as possible. There's also one trade which I took here. Right. So very simple. The example is simple. Right. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
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 Perfect. Until this fair value gap. Then we are
Until
done.
the same.
What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
You are right. You are right, man. This trade is enough. Okay. Now price started consolidating. So leave this pair. Let's go to the Euro USD and try to predict the last few candles if we can do so. Whatever happened in the last week or last. This is easy, man. This is easy. I forgot to trade this. Now you guys understood why there is a somebody said that trade. Could not remember. It was let's see. Somebody said that trade on the 1st of Jan or what? I could not remember. It was on which date it was? It was on, I guess, 31st. Yes, 31st. So let's get to 31st. Okay, somebody asked. Okay, but see, what is the reason? What is the reason of the bias is bearish? Can anybody say why the bias is bearish?
Outside bar.
Perfect. This is perfect. What do you do in this 3 days? You do nothing.
Nothing.
You just wait for the price to take out the liquidity and form a now you can use the range thing as well. We'll explain this thing.
CRT.
Yes, you can use CRT, whatever you want to, but the bias will confirm here. Okay, and if you're talking about the entry, you can go and see. You will find the entry in 1 hour time frame. Okay, this is our high probability fair value gap. Guys, know why it's a high probability fair value gap. Everything is together. Everything you have to club now. Price broke the low, fair value gap created. This is also a breaker, so you can take the entry. See, put the stop loss above the breaker. You not want price to take. Go for 2 hour. Okay, you got the entry and you just hold the trade. Right, you got the target, got hit right here. You got 2.2 hour. Done. Okay. One more day there was a bias for me. Let's see. This is the 4 hour bias if you want to trade. Okay. Looks like a dozy, or you can say that equal body to the upper side and very belly gap. So yeah, you can trade this bullish bias. Okay, now let's go to the daily time frame to predict. Okay. Here also you can predict.
Daily time frame is more easy than 4 hour time frame.
Yeah. You can predict time. Yeah.
Bearish bias.
Bearish bias. But I will give you one more magic. But this is a very difficult because we don't know on which day what is going to happen. If you try to use this in higher time frame like weekly or monthly, but we never know on which day of the week or on which week of the month price is going to bullish or bearish. That's why I'm saying stick to the higher time frame only. So stick to the daily time frame only and look for the whole day, like until the price takes out this candle low, the bias was bearish, right? Now you can say this is a high probability CRT. Price taking out the high and CRT forms here. So see, bias bearish. This 2 days you have the bias bearish. Mm. So I guess from now on you should not have any doubt. This is also trade which I took according to the bias. See, what is the bias?
Bullish.
Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
Bullish.
Yes, bias is bullish. And see, is this a high probability fair value gap or low probability fair value gap?
High, bro, because it broke the
High
high.
probability.
Perfect. It engulf this candle. Is this a high probability order block or low probability order block?
High probability.
High, bro, because it
High,
Probability.
yes, high probability order block.
Hence the fair value.
Now tell me, is this a okay? Now it's also engulfing bar, so respect this. Did not. It came to till this. It will come till this fair value gap because it broke the high fair value gap created. This both the fair value gap is important, equally important. Okay. Uh, so what is the bias?
Bearish.
Bearish.
You are right. Now I can say
Bearish bias. Or
why you
okay.
bearish? Why bias bearish?
Because that
Because
was bearish pin
okay, you saw the pin because you
bar.
saw the pin bar. No, there's order block here. No,
अच्छा order block. Okay.
there's order block pair, order block here. Cannot be bullish or bearish. Stay neutral. If you're not,
After seeing the order block,
what is
bullish.
bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
That's why you're right.
It can also be a spike candle, right?
Yes, this is a spike candle. Bias, bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish, bro.
Right? You are right. Do not get wrong. You are right. Even the candle is bullish, but you are right. Price opens and it goes. It came to all the down, all the way till this low. Right? So you got the move. Nah, bullish or bearish?
No bias, bro.
Bullish.
Why no bias, bro? It's outside par.
Bullish outside bar.
अच्छा, अच्छा, हाँ, bro.
Closed above the open.
Open, close over the open. Yes. Now we are wrong, I would say. But yes, we are wrong. Have to accept it. Bias, bullish or bearish?
Bias bullish, bro.
Yes, you are right. Bullish until price takes out this high. Okay. Now it started consolidating. Here I missed to show you. It takes out the previous candle high. Bias, bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish, outside bar.
Bearish.
Why reason? Reason? Outside bar.
Bearish pin bar or
No,
bearish pin bar.
outside bar. Price taking out the high, closing below this.
अच्छा, closing below the okay. नहीं, closing below the open.
Yes.
I
Right.
have one doubt.
Go ahead.
For outside bar, the candle should close below the low or the open, and
Both. If you want
both.
to take the high probability, then it has to close below the low or the high. And if you want to take the low probability, then open is good.
Okay, okay.
It's up to you. I would say it's up to you. All this day your bias was bearish. Okay, see, because there was a CRT at the highs. CRT at the highs was takes out. So this next week, this week, the bias is bearish. Okay, and there we go. The bias becomes bearish, and you saw that every day. Again, you see here, there is a fair value gap, doji, spin bar, whatever you want to say, and the bias is bearish until this low. Okay, let's move to the other pair. Let's go to NQ. NQ is also a good pair. Not NASH. Let's see. US oil is also good. Outside bar price did not came to this. I marked this, but it did not came. Same. It's a very easy, very extremely, very very easy, man. Like even a small child can predict now.
There is a FVG also, bro, because it broke high too.
Yeah, it broke the high and it is outside bar. So bias can be bearish. Yes.
Bro, there is a swing low inside too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
before that high, there is a small swing low inside too.
Before that high, there is a small swing lower. Can you just draw
Here,
it?
bro. At September 10th, after September 10th.
After September 10th. Yes, there is a swing low.
Is swing high, bro. After the swing low, there is a swing high, right?
Yes.
We can also consider this thing, right?
Yes. Price broke the high, fair value gap created here. There's a doji, there's a pin bar here. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
Bullish.
We were
Bullish.
bullish
Bullish.
until the fair value gap, na? After
Yes.
seeing the outside bar, we took the previous high, and we should be bearish until the fair value gap, na?
Perfect. Yes, until the fair value gap. Now this is a spike candle. What the bias? Bullish or bearish? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish, bullish.
Bullish until the
We're wrong. Here. Sorry. started consolidating. So every time you don't have bias, leave that pair. Okay, go to different pair. You have so many good pairs to try to add these pairs in your watch list. Euro USD, gold, Bitcoin, Nasdaq, okay, and US oil as well. And rest these pairs you can also add like USD JPY or USD. And what you have to do is to go to the daily time frame and see whether there is a bias or not, right? And if you don't want to add so many pairs, add two pairs: Euro, gold, Bitcoin, Nasdaq, all these four pairs, and trade daily time frame. If there is no daily bias, trade 4 hour bias. Okay, that's all you need. This is also a outside bar. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish. Look, you club everything together, whatever you have learned so far about structure shift, about order flow, about marking a key level, about high probability PDR, everything you club together and you will see the magic, right? See this is a fair value gap, and there's a doji or whatever you say. There's a CRT inside that fair value gap. And what is the bias? What is the bias, man? What is the bias?
Bullish.
Bullish.
Bias is bullish until
Until the high.
the high.
With the
Okay.
the high.
Yes, until the high. The bias is bullish. See, one day bullish bias, another day bullish bias, another day bullish bias, another day bullish bias. So every time you see some retracement, go and add into your position. Right. There we go. What will you do? What will you do now? You will just leave this pair and go to different pair. See whether there is a opportunity to trade or not. Right. This is how you're gonna move. Okay. Because I have learned that Dante said that he'll trade at the real prop desk. So all the traders they do not stick to one pair, because if you stick to one pair, all the pair will not, that pair will not always expand. Sometimes this pair will start consolidating and you will start losing. So you have to develop the skill where you can easily identify whether there is a bias or not. If there is no bias, leave that pair and switch to the next pair or the different pair. Okay.
Bro, I have a question.
Go ahead.
How do you anticipate a consolidation?
We do not have to anticipate consolidation. We have to anticipate the bias. We have to have the bias. If there is no bias, just leave that pair. And to identify consolidation, I have one thread. I have already posted in my Twitter account. I'll just copy that link and I will share it to you. Right? 4 to
Okay,
5
thank you.
simple steps are there to identify consolidation, but there is no need to identify consolidation. Why do you need to identify consolidation? Right? If you don't have any bias, it means what? Market either can consolidate or it will not give you the right entry, right? So why to worry about that? Okay. Look, right now we have learned about the daily bias. Perfect. There is a daily, if you have the daily bias, you take the trade. And we also have learned the high probability PDRA, right? So if price coming into your high probability PDRA, you can also take trade, right? If there's a target. There's also one more thing we have learned, is spike candle, right? So you can also take trade at the spike candle. Now you choose what you want to trade, the high probability bias, according to bias, or according to high probability PDR, or according to spike candle. It's up to you, but I would say stick to this 1 and 2: high probability PDR and bias. A spike candle model I will explain, then we can trade all these three together. Okay. Now, from now on, you will not get confused why I'm marking this, why I'm bullish or bearish, because now you got all the sauce. I have not left anything else to sell you more courses. Mm, okay, let me see in BTC.
Brother,
Yeah,
uh,
bro.
I think you have left the engulfing bar.
And engulfing bar, bro, same thing. Like, if price engulf the previous candle,
Okay,
the next candle is bullish,
okay,
but
okay,
it
understand,
has to be thick.
understand.
It has to be thick candle, thick, right? Like this. If you see. where I can see. If you can anticipate like this, see, this is a engulfing candle. Price engulf the last three candle or the last two candle, and it's a thick candle, and it is also engulfing the two thick candle. So we can have the bias bullish like this. Okay, how far price came? Price came till this, the opening price of the candle. Okay. This you can say that this is also a thick candle that engulf, but this is not a thick candle. It's not right. Yes, we have the, you can say, now you have the bias here, guys. You have the bias here. What's the bias?
Bullish.
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 You are right. Bias is bullish. See, it all engulfs this and price ejected from this spike high. Yeah, we moved higher. Perfect. As an example, this is moving like a, should move the way we anticipated to move. See, there is a bias. Oh my god, there's so many biases here, man. Trade BTC. It's a good pair. See, what is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
Bullish. You are right. Now what is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
No bias.
No bias. Perfect. Now what is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
It should be bearish.
Bearish. Right. Now what is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
No bias. Well, it is a doji, but it is not clear.
No, it's not a doji, bro. There's no small. There's
Doji has
no
very small body, bro.
small body. It's not a doji.
Okay.
Okay. There's no bias. No bias. Bias. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish. But we are not. We are not wrong. And let's see. Now we are wrong because price closes above this. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
We are wrong. Why you think the bias is bearish?
Because there was no PDA, matlab, there was no FEG formed.
It took out that high?
Yes, but it was that high is not important, na? We are inside the consolidation.
Okay.
This is not the important high. There is one more concept of which high is important, which is not. But I'll explain in the turtle soup and CRT class, and that which high is important. Okay. Bias, bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Perfect. Bias is bearish. Now you don't have any bias. This is not that important. This is the point where you get wrong. Okay. We thought this is a doji candle or pin by candle at the lows, but we got trapped here. Okay. You might not get
But bro, is that like this is because we are just focusing on one time frame, which is the daily. But then of course we have to kind of like switch between daily, weekly, monthly to see if price is going to go down further or not, right?
Now you can go and switch to those time frame as well. And one more thing is important is the what you can say is the order flow. Now if you check the order flow is very spicy, rejecting highs, breaking lows, and respecting a bullish fair value gap. This is our intermediate term high. So here, according to the daily candle, it looks bullish, but if you check the order flow is bearish. So you might not trade here, but if you used to trade, you will lose, right? But I can see nothing. I can see no bias, nothing. If it doesn't looks like there is a bias, do not trade. If it looks like there is a bias, then only you trade.
In this instance, there is a FVG and pin bar, so we can anticipate higher prices.
Yes, you can anticipate higher prices like this. You can anticipate higher prices here also. This is extremely high probability trade. Okay. What is the bias, bullish or bearish? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish. Inside a fair value gap, there was a pin bar.
Yes, you are right, man. See. Even I can explain all these moves. Everything can be explained. Okay. Everything can
You
be
have to keep
explained.
in mind the order flow
Yeah, order flow has to be keep in mind.
to predict the candle of outside bar or a pin bar.
There is a fair value gap here. Bias,
Bearish
bearish. Until
the fair value gap. Until the fair value gap.
how to enter, whenever price opened and it went above, you have to enter in this week only, right? Now target this low. That's all. This looks like a smash candle, right? So even if you want to enter, you can enter here at this order block for bullish trade. Like this. Yeah. So this is the two trade you can take, one till here fair value gap, and this is the high probability order block you can trade. Okay. Okay, price is bullish.
Though there was a bearish candle on 13 March, but there was a high probability order block on the left side. So we should avoid the trade, or we should take
Where
bullish
is
trade.
high probability order block?
May 13 पे 13
May
the
13.
order block you marked, on the yes.
And this is
Yes,
high probability.
I was talking about that candle, this candle. There was a bearish.
This is not important. This is important. This candle is important because this candle took out the liquidity of last 60 days, right? This is beautiful concept of turtle soup. If you price taking out the liquidity at 60 days, and then it's a beautiful turtle soup inside a fair value gap, right? So this is not important. This order block is not important, man.
Oh, can I backtest this thing on Indian markets?
Yeah, you might practice this in your Indian market.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, go. Yes, man. Go ahead.
Why don't we try to sell right here?
Where? Where do you want to target?
He marked.
Yes, you can sell here, but that's why I'm telling you now. If you trade like the pattern, you get like, see, this is a if you want to sell here, but I would rather not sell here. Why? Because there is a fair value gap to the upper side. So if this price would have been tapped this fair value gap, then only I'll be interested in selling this. Until then, I would avoid selling right here. But what happened on the next candle? Price did a huge bullish candle, huge large candle. And what you can anticipate when you see a large candle like this? A consolidation or expansion. But rather I would just like that. And until then, what this is somebody asked now, why, how can you anticipate consolidation? You can anticipate just like that. Okay. Guys, you don't know now how many hours I have, spent on charts. So yeah, you have to put the time and the efforts, right? And you never know,
Bro,
you might come across some new thing, right? Yeah, bro.
can we get weekly bias also with this?
Yeah, sure. You can have the weekly bias and daily bias, but yes, a little bit tricky because you never know that on which day of the week, the price is going to be bullish or the bearish. I'll show you an example of.
Like if you go to odd USD.
See, I'll show you the example, the perfect example. See, what you can see, a fair value gap, tiny fair value gap here, perfect. Or you can go to 3 months. There will be a huge fair value gap, I guess. Yes. You can see, right? There's a fair value gap in 3-month time frame or month now compared to the monthly chart. So let's now you see this. Okay, price just went above. But what do you see right now? What has happened? Is this a bearish pin bar or not?
Yes.
So now you have the bias for the next whole month, right? Like this. Okay, so you have the bias for the whole month, right? You got it. So if you go to daily time frame and you have the bias, start from the new month, that is from August. So August you have the bias. The whole month you have the bearish bias. Every time you see pin bar, outside bar, in 4-hour time frame and daily time frame, go and short until you are wrong. Like this is right. This is outside bar, short it. Okay. Every time you see retracement, you see bearish. So you can use also in higher time frame and monthly, weekly, right? But it's up to you how to use it. But yeah, it works in all the time frame, I would say. See, this is also perfect example. I remove drawings. What do you have? You have a fair value gap. You can say, I cannot say like it doesn't look like a pin bar, but the bias is bearish, right? Until this fair value gap. Got it. And the bias now over. Okay. Now you see. Now what is the bias? Can anybody say?
Bullish, doji at FEG.
Bullish.
Perfect. Whenever you see bullish bias, and we got the bullish bias. Now what is the bias? Bullish or bearish? Bullish or bearish?
Bullish.
Outside bar, right?
Outside bar.
Perfect. And the high is taken up. So we don't have any bias. Okay, guys. Okay. Let's go to different pair. Bitcoin. Let's go to GBP. USDT. But it will also look similar to Euro USD, na? And let's go to USD CAD. You can see that there is a fair value gap and perfect. Now, whenever you open a chart, your eyes should directly go to that that spike candle, doji candle. Right? This is outside bar. Next candle bearish. You see a fair value gap. Price book the low, fair value gap created at the low. There is a spike candle. There's a what do I say? Pin bar. Bias is bearish. On this whole day, the bias is bearish. Okay. If weekly time frame will give you the bias and cause the previous candle close above. Here you have the bias. See, there's a fair value gap. There's a doji candle. Bias bullish. Right again, I can see there's a so bias is bullish until this high. Okay. So this is a weekly time frame. So if you see it in daily time frame, okay, it's almost reached there. It almost got reached here. I hope this thing is clear, right? The bias thing.
Bro, can you check the odd USD once
Okay.
for weekly?
Let's go to odd USD. Let's go to weekly time frame. Okay, guys, tell me what you want to ask about this thing. I am not interested
Yes.
in this pair. Why? This is a low. Okay. The price has not took out this low. I would rather, if I rather short from this fair value gap if this drawn liquidity has not been met yet. Why this fair value gap? Because this is the fair value gap created after breaking this low, or this low. The high probability fair value gap. So I'm looking for the bearish PDA here to short here until I will not try to target this fair value gap from here to here. That's not the right thing to do.
And one more thing, if you go to NZD USD,
NZD USD. You're asking about the SMT, right? No, there's no SMT.
no, not SMT, NZD USD, if you go, it's on his weekly, order block. If
Okay,
you
it
see,
got filled. It happens. Yeah, that's not the concern. Okay.
so the weekly order block on the left, it's giving the rejection also.
Yeah, but
And
that's
there
not
is a
the.
FVG.
Look, now you tell me, which is the high probability pair to trade? NGD or you odd USD?
Odd.
Odd. Yes, because this fair value gap is already been tapped, right? And but if you go to the odd USD, and this has not been tapped yet. So yeah, I would say I would rather trade odd USD if this down liquidity is not met yet. Okay. Okay. Okay, I got it right. Everyone got it. The bias thing. And if you talk about this thing, close above, close below this thing, right? Uh, this thing is where to trade, where to use this. Uh, whenever I talk about whenever price like this, let me show some examples. Okay. Let's start from here only. Okay. Closes below the previous candle low, right? So the drawn liquidity is the bias is bearish, but where until where the bias is bearish? The bias is bearish until price takes out this liquidity, right? So yes, but still look how what has happened. That's why I do not use that. No, it took out. It took out the low. Okay. Now again price closes, right? Closes below the previous candle. So bias is bearish until price takes out this low. Now done. Now I have to look to the left side only. Okay, took out the previous candle low and it is an expansion candle. So avoid because there is a large candle, right? So avoid trading next day. But this is how you have to use, previous candle, highs and lows, right?
Bro,
Not
just one question I have.
like
you did on NZD USD, how to identify that this thing not gonna react from that as an order block rather than hitting the lows.
Which one? Right. Can you
You did analysis on NZD USD.
audio USD, bro? I did an audio USD.
No. NZD USD, if you go for weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I ask you about it, on this left, there is this order block
Okay, you're
of
talking
this
about this.
candle. Yes. So how do you identify that rather than reacting from this order block, it's gonna take the lows?
Okay, you're talking about this, right? Okay, so to identify this, first of all, this is not a high priority order block because it did not took out the liquidity and did not rebalance this fair value gap. First important point to keep in mind. The next important point is price. If you consider this is an order block, this has been already been tapped, right? Okay. The next more important thing is that let's say you're anticipating this to react, right? Let's say you're anticipating this to react, right? You're looking for long here, right? As of now, you're looking for, let's say here, not here. Let's start from here. You're looking for long from this order block. There's nothing wrong in that. I'm looking for long this and this order block. But what you want to see here, you want to see that price will immediately react from this order block. But what you saw here, price did not react from that order block and price closes below this low, right? And what happened to the next candle? Next candle, it also created a fair value gap. Okay, so that means what? It's not gonna now it's not that useful for me. See how if order block, if price has to react from an order block, also the good examples that how it actually reacts. See, if you see this thing here, okay, what has happened? Here it immediately got reacted from. Okay, see how it got reacted, right? Immediately got engulfed. Immediately got engulfed, right? But in this case, what? Price tapped. Okay, let me come back to the original price section. Is price immediately got tapped, but did you see price immediately got engulfed? No, rather it created a bearish speed area here. That's right. This is how you will anticipate, right? And if you see there is a swing low, like this, right? There is a swing high like this. Why you would rather go and short it from here? I would rather wait for price to take out this high and create a smash candle here and then target the other part of the range. So same case here. Right, there's a swing low. But I will not go and mark this order block to go look for longs. The only time when I look for long in price, get a bullish fair value gap here or order block. Got it, bro? Got it, right?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. So how do you the same what I'm trying to explain? The last piece, the last thing. See, price closes above the previous candle high. Bias is bullish, right? Until price takes out the high. Okay, so yes, it took out the high. What price wick? Price is wicked, right? It wicked. What is the bias? Bias is bearish, but you might get wrong sometimes. Okay, so this is no, it's the candle is not closed yet. Sorry, now it got closed, I guess. Okay, it got closed now. So what is the bias? Bullish until price takes out the high. Okay, so you can also use this method if you want to. Okay, now again, what has happened? Bias is bullish until price takes out the high. Okay, you are right. Again, the bias is bullish until price takes out the high. Okay, it still is not hurt. Again, bias is bullish. Okay. Again, bias is bullish. But what you saw, a fair value gap got created here. So you should rather conscious. Okay. Bias is bullish. Now bias is bullish. So you got my point. What I'm trying to say. Price closed above bullish until price takes out the previous candle high. Until price takes out the previous candle high. Again, you see here. Here, what was the bias? Bullish or bearish? According to the concept, bullish or bearish? Hello.
Bullish.
Bullish
Bullish.
until price takes out the previous candle high, right? So it takes out the previous candle high. Now we are no more bullish, right? Like this. Now what is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
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 Why?
It's an outside bar.
Outside bar.
Outside bar.
Similarly, you can use this. Right? So this is the engulfing bar I'm talking about. Somebody asked, right? See, huge thick candle, right? So this is a engulfing bar, and also it is happening inside a fair value gap. What else you need in your life? This is the high priority order block. Go and sort from this.
Full margin.
Yes.
Just joking.
Go full margin. Sell your house, sell your dear ones, and go full margin. And sort it from here. Okay. Until this low is taken out. Mm. Mhm. Again, this is also a good according to the concept. Fair value gap, this pin bar and bearish candle. Again, price first to close below lows. Bias is bullish until this high is taken out, but we got wrong. That's why I'm saying do not use this all the time, right? Close above, close below. Stay conscious. Where to use, where should not use. Use your own brain. Okay. Here is here is little bit tricky. See what is happening. Price failing to close below lows, close below lows. See, it is happening twice. So you might get bullish until the high is taken up. Okay. You look for the bullish signature in price. Okay, to anticipate that thing. Again, you see, price takes out this previous candle high. There is a logic. So you are bearish, right? Until this low is taken out. When this low is taken out, we we got bearish, but we're not looking for a moon run till this lows, right? Again, what you saw, there is a outside bar, so bias is bullish. We got bullish bias. Okay. Again, you saw a doji candle, I guess. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish? Tell me.
Bearish.
Bearish. Because there is an outside bar. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I was wrong here. If you want to see, this is when price got tapped inside the fair value gap here. Okay. See, is this a high probability fair value gap or low probability fair value gap?
No,
I would
because
say
it's in the discount of the
Okay.
dealing range.
Give me 3 reasons or at least 2 reasons why this is a high probability fair value gap.
it broke the low.
Okay. It broke the low. One more.
Takes out the liquidity.
It's 50 liquidity. Okay. At the top. Okay.
There is an order block.
This one.
Oh, it is consolidating
Yes.
below the.
Yes. Perfect. It is consolidating. One more. One more. It is formed after disrespecting a fair value gap. Right. That's why it's a high probability fair value gap. Now, at the high probability fair value gap, what do you saw? There is a pin bar, right? Longer wick, smaller wick. Look, it looks to the point, right? If you go and see the example, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the example. Let me remove all the drawings and you see longer wick to the upside or to the downside, and there's a small enough body. Now you see this, it looks similar inside the fair value gap. What is the bias? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Bearish until
Bearish until the low.
the
We
low.
took the low.
Until the low, yes. Like this. Got it, guys? Got it? Are you getting what I'm trying to explain? It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. That today you got it. What I taught you. You
Bro,
might. Yeah.
like, can you forward some candles here? I just have a doubt.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Can you
Tell me.
zoom a little bit? Okay. Can you just forward until that fair value gap?
Hmm. Hmm.
Can you just forward it until that?
This fair value gap? Which fair value
No,
gap
no,
talking?
top, in the top. Just now we in again.
Here?
Wait. Here, we can expect like some lower prices, right?
Yeah, we can expect some lower prices.
Okay.
Until at least till here.
Yeah, until that.
Okay, at least here. If there would have been fair value gap here, right? Then we'd have expected this price to come till this fair value gap. And if there's no fair value gap, so we'll be expecting price to take out this low.
Okay.
Okay, like this.
Yes.
Okay. Now I got the idea. Okay. Now I don't see. This also looks good, but it did not play out. Sometimes you will be wrong, sometimes you'll be right. That's the part of the game. There's nothing to worry about. You just need to master this. I guess that's enough, guys. You got the point, right? What I'm trying to explain. The bias thing, right? Just try to club the bias with the high probability PDRA, and then you are good to go. Okay. We're definitely gonna good to go. And from the next week, we're gonna start a 100K challenge. Let's see. I'm gonna share all the trade according to that high time frame bias only, if it is possible to share. Uh, yes, and I will try to explain. I will try to do all the trade breakdowns so that you guys understand how should we execute and how to manage that trade. I hope it is all good, right? All makes sense.
Yeah, thank you.
Bro, just one feedback.
Where?
Yeah, you made like this CRT thing so easy, within like couple of hours. Why the hell these people have like 4 months of courses?
I don't know,
I
bro.
don't know, like what the hell they teach them.
They are here to sell courses, right? That's why. That's
Yeah,
the
there's
reason.
so many chapters, so many
Mm.
different courses.
I don't know, bro. I
By the way,
literally, I
thank you.
literally cried, right? Literally cried. No, people, try to, um, try to confuse others, right? But thank
Yeah.
God, I found Dante. I just put so many hours in the market, and then finally, make some method, which suits me, and then I'm doing good. Thanks to God. But
And thank
yeah.
God we found you also.
Bro, did you like join personal mentorship with Dante?
No, he doesn't give personal mentorship. Why do? No.
Yeah, nice, nice, nice
No.
session, bro. It was
Thank you.
like
Thank
eye-opening.
you. Now it's your
Like
time to go and
what I will do is like for
Mm.
a higher time frame base, I will just uh, see like how the PDR is like respects or disrespects.
Okay.
Like
No,
I
this is
just
also one of the way.
yeah. Like it is like classic way, no? Like
Yeah, but I would suggest try to keep this thing to yourself, guys.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah, sure, bro.
Because if you share this thing, I'm not saying telling that if you do not share, but if you say this thing, there's a concept called decay, of the uh, what do I say? Decay of the concepts, decay of the strategy decaying. So if everybody knows the same thing, same strategy, so it might not work in the coming years, right? So I would say keep something to yourself. Do not say to all the everything to everyone else. But I would do not think that I have not said anything else to you. I have said all the things which I know, right? So yeah, now your time is to go and practice as much as it possible. And let's see. Tomorrow we're gonna have the next session on the market structure shift. And remember, you're gonna learn something interesting about market structure shift you might not have learned until today, right? Because from now on, if you are right and there's a market structure shift, according to you'll never get out, right? You'll never stopped out, right? Because that is also a method which I have been using since long, and it is the method which I have developed. It's not copied from anyone else, right? So I'll be sharing that thing to tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll discuss about market shift, change this data delivery, and whatever the method we use to enter a trade, right? So it's up. So tomorrow I'll be expecting everyone to join, and today is your job to go and watch this session again and again and again. And one more video is already there, regarding this bias thing, right? So I will also upload that one more video which I have explained to few folks, right? In like last 3 to 4 months back, I took one session on the daily bias only. So yeah, so that video I will also upload. So you also watch that video right? Because there is so much examples are also there in that video. So go and watch both the video together, make notes and practice as much as is possible. Tomorrow is Sunday. Take your time, practice as much as is possible. Okay, give all your time, all your energy and efforts to it, right? That's all then. Let's see you tomorrow and enjoy your weekend, I guess.
See you, bro. See you tomorrow.
Good
See
night.
you. Good night. Good night.
Yeah, good night all.
Night.
Good night, bro.